What's good, family? Welcome back to the Ballard Report, where we break down the world behind the world. Those hidden dynamics that shape our lives, our communities, and the battles we don't always see coming. I'm your host, Rome Ballard, and today, we're talking about a prison far more dangerous than concrete walls and barbed wire fences. A prison you can't see, a prison you can't touch, a prison you can walk into without even knowing the door was open. Today we're talking about the mental prison, the one built by other people's twisted realities. This morning, I watched a man get sucked straight into a mental prison. Not the kind the state runs, but the psychological kind. The kind that lives inside a person who can't deal with real life, so they create an alternate world, a place where they are always right, always the victim, always the hero, always the authority. A world where logic and reason go to die. Now, this wasn't a dramatic event. There were no flashing lights, no alarms, just an ordinary situation where somebody reacted in a way that made the rest of us stop and go, "Wait, how did we get here?" You ever seen that? Where an ordinary moment turns into a whole dysfunctional circus because one person is operating on rules the rest of us never agreed to. That's the trap, that's the mental prison, and the man I watched today, he didn't walk into it, he got pulled into it. And just who are the architects of the mental prison? See, some people, when real life gets too heavy, when accountability feels like a burden, they don't try to fix their situation. They don't try to grow. They don't try to evolve. They build a world where they don't have to. A world where their beliefs replace facts and their feelings override logic. A world where their insecurity becomes law and their imagination becomes truth. These folks live between two realms, the real world, where the rest of us operate, and their virtual world, their mental safe place, where everything bends to their comfort. And if you're not careful, if you don't keep your reasoning sharp, you'll get sucked right into that alternate reality. So how people get captured? You may ask, the crazy part is, you won't even notice at first. At the beginning, it looks like patience, it looks like compassion, it looks like understanding. But what you're really doing is agreeing to rules that don't make sense. You try to explain something logical, and they respond with something unreasonable. You try to calm things down, and they escalate. You try to stick to the facts, and they change the whole storyline. And this is where the danger comes in. If your reasoning skills are strong, you can pull them back to reality. If they're weak, they pull you into theirs. The moment you start going along just to keep the peace, that's the moment the prison gate closes. Because when you accept twisted logic long enough, when you adapt to unreasonable reactions long enough, when you adjust your behavior to fit their fantasy long enough, it becomes your new normal, and that's the moment you realize you didn't just visit their virtual world, you moved in. So how do we keep from getting locked in someone else's alternate universe? Number 1, know your own reality. Facts, values, reason, ground yourself in them every day. Number 2, don't negotiate with irrationality. You can't reason with someone who built their world to avoid reasoning. Let me say that again. You can't reason with someone who built their world to avoid reasoning. Number 3, never sacrifice your sanity for someone else's comfort. That's how generations get lost. That's how culture breaks. That's how families crumble. Number 4, call things what they are. When something is unreasonable, say it. When something is illogical, name it. When something manipulates your reality, cut it off. Because here's the truth. Once you get caught in someone else's mental prison, it's hell trying to climb out. In closing, listen, we live in a time when escaping reality has become a national pastime, where people rewrite truth to protect ego, where accountability feels like an attack, where fantasy is easier than growth. But your mind is the last frontier of your freedom. You must guard it. You must defend it. You must protect it from anyone who tries to drag you into their alternate world. Because once you lose your ability to reason, once you normalize dysfunction, once you accept twisted logic as truth, you're no longer free, and real freedom starts in the mind. This has been the Ballard Report. Stay sharp, stay aware, and never let anyone lock you inside a mental prison they built for themselves.